It was the week Boris Johnson finally got things back on track. And it worked too, for a few seconds. Cheers, Boris. Get the bubbly open. Or maybe not. Yes, a new photo of Partygate quiz night that the press pounced on. Looked quite a lot like the old one. New bottle of champers, though. Good enough for Met Chief Cressida Dick, battling to save her job, who decided it was now time to take another look at the one party her guys decided wasn't a problem. Very successful.
It is quite clear that the Mayor no longer has sufficient confidence in my leadership of the Metropolitan Police Service for me to continue as Commissioner. He has left me no choice but to step aside.
She's not going to leave immediately, is she?
Yo, bro, live TV, Sky News.
No, that's right. Dame Cressida Dick has said that she will stay on for the next couple of weeks. She will do that because she has offered... OK, come on.
We're going to leave Kate there.
Might be quite a few fines on the way for those partygoers too. Quick, PM, need something else.
And just like that, Boris Johnson announces England could be just 2 weeks away from ending all COVID restrictions. Is this about science or politics?
Don't tell me, I know this one. Is it science? No, of course it isn't. Scientists, eh? What do they know? Just get all the important hacks on side. Have a right go at the boffins.
Some people hate you because they say you're always too gloomy, and quite often you're wrong.
OK, fair enough.
In your place. Did it all work? Everyone nicely distracted? A bit. The Loyal Mail and Express followed it all. Well done, chaps. But most of the rest couldn't resist the latest Partygate twist. One man had had enough. The man at the centre of all kinds of sleaze, hypocrisy and the death of public trust. No, not Boris, of course. This guy.
Day after day, the public was asked to believe the unbelievable. Ministers were sent out to defend the indefensible.
Yes, if anyone knows anything about defending the indefensible, it's the last guy who destroyed the Tory party, Sir John Major. But it's been a few years, so the media treats him like some kind of oracle. Don't worry, Boris, it'll all work out fine in the end. So, what have you got to say for yourself?
This is a very dangerous moment.
Sure is, mate. Taking a day trip to Brussels at a time like this. But dicking around playing war games tied nicely into his earlier quip about his domestic outlook. You'll have to get the tanks to drag me out. Sounded a bit fascist, but then he does love the odd authoritarian analogy. Yes, from the guy who said he'd lie down in front of the bulldozers at Heathrow, then didn't, and who said he'd be hit by a water cannon to show how safe they are, and then wasn't. Anyway, the new plan. The media called it the Great Reset. Sounds brilliant, except... that also sounds a bit fascist, bit far-right, bit, you know, conspiracy theory. Plays very well with those who think our overlords are lizards, or there's some kind of VIP paedophile ring that only Donald Trump can defeat, or that COVID's all a cover for New Order. I think that should be New World Order. Maybe it's their early stuff. Something like that. What I do know is that having a far-right trope as the buzzword for your new agenda is a bit odd. Well, I'd say odd. Understandable when last week's news was dominated by a PM who dug up another one. Yes, that the Labour leader failed to prosecute notorious paedophile Sir Jimmy Savile. Sir Keir Starmer was head of the CPS when it didn't happen, but it's not quite the same, is it? And when you've got Boris Johnson blowing a dog whistle like that, it's hardly a surprise when the crazies take it as some kind of cue to have a go at Starmer too. It's not great, is it? But Boris's fault? The mainstream channels thought so.
Boris Johnson is called upon once again to withdraw a false accusation he made against Keir Starmer. Traitor! It follows tonight's incident at Westminster when Sir Keir was harassed by a group of protesters.
The Labour leader is mobbed by protesters repeating the PM's slurs about Jimmy Savile.
The political temperature hits red again. Police rescue Sir Keir Starmer from a mob shouting slurs about paedophiles. Labour MPs claim they were incited by Boris Johnson.
Yes, it's pretty clear who started it. Lots of front pages. Boris Johnson really got them riled up. Or did he? What the mainstream neglected to mention was that those protesters are usually around Westminster somewhere, usually talking about COVID, usually with Piers Corbyn. That was the line seized on by Downing Street too.
They were mostly talking about Julian Assange. They were talking about COVID. They were talking about the general conduct of the opposition. They did mention Jimmy Savile as well. But mostly it was about Julian Assange.
Yes, remember that bloke we've kept locked up in a maximum security prison for nearly 2 years? Mostly his fault. But to say it wasn't anything to do with Boris's comments is also stretching it a bit.